Hey guys, midweek energy update for our first week in October 2023. What can we expect? Well, first of all, we are in day 2 of a pretty heated and possibly intense Mars South Node conjunction happening in the sign of Libra. Today, this is being trined by the moon in Gemini. There is some type of conversation or information or communication, dialogue, what we're learning, what we're talking about, what we're thinking about, something that is driving or motivating some type of release, ending, transition that is likely to be going on in relationships in the context of the group. This could have to do with finances as well. This could have to do with what we want, what we desire, material comforts and pleasures and stuff like that as well. But we are definitely, at a point of no return in terms of some area or aspect of our life that has to do also perhaps with the themes of self versus others. But other people, what we do want, what we don't want, what we're willing to settle for, what we're not taking any more of. This is probably like the predominant theme that we have going on today. People are likely to be very fired up. There could definitely just be very little impulse control, okay, in terms of the way that people are conducting themselves today. Passions running high and some very heated emotions that are driving perhaps some very maybe like out of control emotional responses to things. So all of that being said, you guys, we've got a lot of energy to talk about today coming through in our midweek, this first week of October. Let's get into it. Let's look at this energy as it's playing out in some more detail, talk about some of the other aspects that are coming today as well, what perhaps we can expect as we move through the midpoint of this week. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day where we are narrating the shift of the ages. And if you guys stick with me till the end of this report, I have also done a collective tarot reading for us as well. Whenever I'm doing these energy check-ins, I like to tap the energetic field from more than one modality just to get a couple different viewpoints of what's happening on an energetic level. There could be some messages in there for you. So if you want to see that, stay with me until the end. But let's get started, you guys. We're sort of picking up where we left off on the last video, which was our video for Monday and Tuesday, of course, so it makes sense that we're picking up where we left off there. But we are also we began on Tuesday. If you guys watched my video, I was talking about how on Tuesday we were going to begin a 2-day activation of Mars and the South Node coming into exact alignment in the sign of Libra. So we started on Tuesday, and this day that I'm doing this video for, specifically Wednesday, this is day 2 of that transit, of that activation. So we're going to be talking about a lot more of that energy in our report for today, but we also have an energetic shift coming up in the energy for Thursday for tomorrow, and that is Mercury changing signs. Okay, we've got some interesting Mercury energy going on today for Mercury's last day in the sign of Virgo. We've got a Gemini moon going on that is trining our Mars South Node conjunction, okay? We're going to be talking all about this. And we've also got the black moon right now at 0 degrees of the sign of Virgo, while Mercury ruling Virgo, ruling the moon, is at 30 degrees of the sign of Virgo. So when we're talking about Virgo energy today, which has a lot to do with news, information, facts, context, okay? Things being done in an organized and orderly manner, like the informational, conversational, dialogue component of things today could be maybe a bit lacking when it comes to like social graces and general pleasantries, kind of keeping the peace today. There's honestly likely to be a bit of like a ruthless conversation style that's flying around out there, and something about the information today is definitely motivating some type of ending, some type of active detachment, something from the past that is coming up to be cleared and released. And again, like our emotional reactions and responses to things, hopefully not ours, but people generally, that's what is driving a lot of this Mars South Node energy that we have playing out. Now, if you guys watched my video for yesterday, of course, I was talking a lot about this combination of planetary energies that is coming together, coloring a lot of our experience right now. Mars is the ego, Mars is the self, of course. Mars is the lord of the battlefield. This is a very action oriented and conflict oriented and also passionate, you know, motivated, courageous, strong, aggressive, masculine energy. But it has to, it's in alignment with the south node, which is the past, which is karma, which is the release point. We're talking about the north and the south nodes of the moon. This is destiny and karma. Okay, this is the future and the past. This is where we've been, what we've learned, what we're comfortable with, but also what is holding us back from, you know, learning the new lesson, going in the new direction, going through a personal evolution in some type of way, which with the polarities, Aries and Libra right now, with the south node in Libra and the north node in Aries, we are definitely being pulled in the direction of some type of personal evolution in a much more like independent and autonomous way moving forward throughout the course of the next year-ish of time. And it's going to require like a radical perhaps detachment from the groups and the images and the preferences and the values and even the way that we are relating to money and relating to ourselves. All of these Libra themes, you know, even maybe like our fashion or like our makeup or our jewelry, or you know, just like the images and even like the trends that we've defined ourselves by. This type of thing is likely to come to the end in some way. Like I was saying in my video for yesterday, this is also representing maybe like the end of a certain phase perhaps that we or people have been going through, maybe for long periods of time. But it's definitely, you know, this energy, this Mars south node energy, it's also could be indicating like a sort of like loss of sense of self as we go through this process, and we're really like redefining ourselves, rediscovering ourselves, you know, and it's for this greater purpose actually of helping us to kind of activate maybe some like latent abilities or talent or potential that's been existing within us that we haven't, you know, seen, noticed, discovered, that we've been kind of avoiding or, you know, hiding from. If there is a mission, if there is something that universe needs us to be doing right now for some reason, it could be specific to us and our journey and our experience, or it could be, you know, specific to some greater unfolding plan that is, you know, that we are a necessary requirement for one reason or another. This energy is coming through and it is making the changes for us that we've been avoiding, that we've been hiding from, that we've been unaware of, that need to be made, that we haven't been able to make for ourselves for some reason. And this phase of that process has a lot to do with bringing, it's the end of an era in terms of, you know, maybe how we've been presenting ourselves, how we've been relating with others, what we've been valuing, what we've been spending our money on, all of these Libra themes. And if you know your natal chart and you know what house, aka area of life, Libra falls into in your own natal chart, this is going to give you a really good idea. I mean, living life, you'll probably get a good idea anyways as we go through this period of time. But if you want to kind of see how this energy is more likely to be operating specifically for you, look at the house where you have Libra in your natal chart, and this is going to let you know where, you know, there's going to be some type of active detachment going on, something from the past coming back up to be resolved, some type of karmic actions that are required, or, you know, also the south node, like I said, has a lot to do with karma. This could be like things that we've done in the past where like the consequences or something like that are coming back around now, or it could also be showing us, you know, what we're doing currently, or ways that we've been engaging, or ways that we've been acting, or ways that we've been behaving, this phase type of stuff, okay, that needs to come to an end now as well. But Mars in the conjunction with the south node, you guys, is also therefore in an exact opposition to the north node, reflecting on who we're becoming now, you know, where our destiny is calling us, okay, what we feel compelled to do, the changes we know we need to make so that we can essentially like become ourselves again, maybe on some level. This is helping us to see, gain a greater awareness of, and detach ourselves from where we've gotten off track on the course to fulfilling our destiny. Honestly, I know it probably sounds like over dramatic, but that's where we're at right now, you guys. We are in a transition of ages, and this is a transition into the age of Aquarius on a greater level, okay? there's a process of self-actualization that humanity needs to go through right now. You know, we've been going through it over this past couple of 100 years, and there's a couple hundred more years, you know, where we're going to be going in this direction. But it's because of where we're at, okay, in the grand unfolding cycles of time. We are exiting essentially like dark age energy, okay? We are exiting what is referred to as a Kali Yuga, as our galaxy essentially comes into greater contact with the emanating forces coming from galactic center. And as a part of that process, a lot is going to start to sort of like come back online in the context of our human experience, our minds, how we are able to like use our mental energy heading into this age of Aquarius, which is an air sign energy, what we're capable of understanding. We're actually, as a part of the conscious awakening and this like evolution that's going on right now on a greater level, what's happening is we're actually like becoming smarter, okay? In my understanding of things, you know, humanity, our planet, okay, there are grand cycles of time that we go through that are essentially incorporated by, you know, darker ages where there is a void of, you know, wisdom and understanding and neural synapses essentially going on, and golden ages where we experience sort of like the heights of human potential in connection with source, okay? And this understanding of things, you know, it goes through a lot of different ancient cultures. You know, it's represented by essentially like a 26,000 year cycle of time known as like a great year, okay? And half of that period of time is like the descending energy, and half of that period of time is the energy where we're coming out of that darker energy. And right now where we're at in these, you know, in this grand cycle of time is transitioning out and away from our essentially like void from galactic emanations, okay? And as a result of that, you know, it's happening in correspondence with our transition into the age of Aquarius, which is an age of self-knowledge, self-awareness, self-mastery. And as a result of that, where we're at right now, we all sort of have this collective destiny to self-actualize, and it's being represented, okay, energetically at this point by the North Node's transit through the sign of Aries, which is sparking the divine masculine energy and influence to essentially be our own hero, overcome states of victimhood, take back our power, and assert ourselves as like a force for creative and productive good, by way as us being like a catalyst for universe's activity, expanding us forward in this new direction, bringing us out of this darker age Kali Yuga energy. Okay, so that was like a really long tangent that I totally did not mean to go off on right now, but that's what we're doing on this channel though, right? We're narrating the shift of the ages, so we have to look at it from this higher perspective in the context of just even these day-to-day activations, but just where we're at right now, this midweek with this Mars South Node conjunction. This is an energetic activation that is having the effect, okay, of helping us to transition out of the past paradigm, our past version of self, the past ways that we have defined ourselves, as we move towards this soul calling that is like compelling us forward towards this new personal leadership era, like I've been calling it, with the North Node transiting through the sign of Aries. So really they're both being activated, very highly energized right now. The nodes of the moon, of course, by Mars's connection to the South Node. Remember, Mars also rules the sign of Aries, where the North Node is. So it's like these endings are directly related to our ability to move forward in this new direction, which we always know, you know, which the North and the South Node always indicate. But when the ruler of the North Node is with the South Node, and that ruler is Mars, it's like an explosive force to release us from something to propel us forward in this new direction. Re-identify the self, take back power, discover our mission, and move towards, you know, activating that level or layer of destiny in correspondence with this overall cosmic blueprint that is unfolding, that is currently transitioning us into the age of Aquarius. Okay, so it's very big business that we have going on, and we should not take where we're at necessarily lightly. The things that are happening right now, you know, big time, big events this month, I feel is going to hold quite a few October surprises for us, but We are at a critical point in like the collective evolution of our planet through time and space, okay? And this unfolding cosmic blueprint, and this is just how it's happening on the ground. So people could be very fired up, all right? Conflict oriented on Wednesday. Now I'm going to get back to my notes, especially in the later part of the day. In the later part of the day, the moon will move into the exact trine with the south node and with Mars. So it's going to fire things up and it's going to fuel things. The moon also forms a trine to the sun today in the early part of the day, which is a harmonious aspect. We're not talking about like real hard aspects here with the, we're not talking about hard aspects at all. We're talking about a very nice, pleasant trine that we have going on. But the thing is, when we're talking about the moon and Mars in trine, while trines are harmonious energy and usually don't bring up conflict, Mars is the planet ruling conflict, and trines allow a flow of energy. So this actually, the trine today from Gemini, it's like some type of motivation that's hitting us on an emotional level. It could even be like hurt feelings or something, fueling, firing up, energizing, okay, some type of, whatever's going on with this Mars South Node conjunction. Like I said, this honestly could bring some type of ruthless energy that is functioning as this turning point today, or this release point, or this transition. Remember also, I can't remember if I said this or not, but the Mars South Node conjunction is in a very tight square to Pluto retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. So, Pluto is, well, power in all of its forms. Is a very powerful, powerfully transformative force. This is the Phoenix rising energy, right? This is like death and rebirth energy. This is the ultimate and transformative energy. And it's also, we're talking about Pluto in the last degrees of Capricorn. This is also like transforming essentially like the ways that we've dealt with authority in the past, the power structures of the past, like what we've submitted to in the past, the way that we've structured our lives, and like the rules that we have adhered to in the past. This is all, it's like breaking us out of this box, okay, that maybe we've been in, that has been like a function of self-limiting beliefs and stuff like that, or not necessarily even like self-limiting beliefs as much as like beliefs that were like implanted in us as a result of maybe like society and culture, and we're coming to find out at this point in time like don't ring true for us. Like there's no reason that we need to like adhere to these beliefs and principles or these like hierarchical structures, like all that type of stuff, okay? The breakdown of rules and authorities and like the forms and structures and control systems and mechanisms that maybe have limited our ability to relate to ourselves and others in the past as well, or even to relate to information, to understand information properly, also with this strong information theme that we also have going on today. Or it could also just be like this information that is coming through that is like expanding our perception or our mind, or uncovering things as well. Pluto also rules the depths and the underworld and like what's been hidden. There could be like corruption, or there could be like just some type of deep, profound, like powerful revelation that is being exposed, or that is somehow coming up for us in this energy. This South Node Pluto, or South Node Mars square Pluto with the moon in Gemini and trine energy that's playing out today as well. But probably most likely this focus on the past, what we've done and what needs to end moving forward, burning it all down, okay? That's another thing, especially with like this just dominant Mars influence energy that people could be ready to sort of like just set fire to the past and move on, walk away, like burn it all down and start over fresh, okay? That's also definitely the type of thing that is indicated, especially maybe in terms of the relationship components and dynamics of our lives. So major karmic themes at play in the energy midweek this week, wherever, like I said, you have Libra in your chart. Past actions could be coming back up somehow, or it could be something could be coming quite obvious in terms of like your current actions, or just situations generally that you're realizing like need to come to an end. This could also be happening honestly just like very organically too. We have trine energy going on today. Trines facilitate things, but this is air sign energy, so this it's all about the information, it's all about the ideas, it's all about what we're talking about, what we're thinking about, and it's hitting on a very emotional level. Like I said, there could be some just like hurt feelings, like, or emotional reactions to what is being said, what we're understanding, what we're hearing, what we're thinking about, that is really fueling some type of significant actions today. And there is a layer or a level of like being kind of like delusional. Like people could be acting real crazy with this today as well, because the moon in Gemini will also square Neptune. So it's not just trine Mars and the south node, it's also square Neptune. So this could have to do, on one hand, okay, this is people finding out things that have gone on that they didn't know were going on, or that they were in some type of an illusion about, or that they weren't seeing or understanding clearly. And once they find this out, it changes everything in the context of relationships. Like this is definitely the type of energy where like finding out about somebody like cheating on you, or like something shading going on in relationships, or, you know, somebody, you know, talking, saying, you know, friends, any type of that type of stuff, anywhere where people have been being disloyal, or where people have being you know, pretending to be one way but they're really another way, deceptive, manipulative, lying, cheating, stealing about stuff. Like this is where that stuff is being uncovered. It's causing, like, it's seeing the light of day, okay? It's causing huge, sudden, unexpected changes. A lot of this is happening in unexpected ways as well. Remember, we've also had Venus square Uranus going on, which is also sudden awakenings to things in relationships. This is like learning the truth about people specifically, other people specifically, you know, maybe some shady business, you know, that's been operating under, and the sudden and very transformative impacts that that has on those relationship dynamics. That is the most obvious way I feel like that this energy is presenting. Of course, you know, it could be playing out in a myriad of different ways, but I would say, if I had to wager, there will be a greater than normal, there will be greater than normal incidents this week of people getting caught in scenarios that show that they were like cheating something or someone in some type of way. So there's that. Okay, that's probably a thing. But anyways, we've got this moon in Gemini, right? Especially later in the day. Like I said, the moon will trine the sun, so it's not that it's like, it's not that it's like this irritation energy that it's creating conflict. It's just, it's like the ease of what we are. It's like things literally just falling in our lap in a way that creates this massive explosion. And again, it could have to do with things from the past. With Mars, you guys, this is always going to be a masculine influence. This is always going to be like, it could even be about like I'm gonna it's really funny to me, the like trend that is going on right now, especially with guys. I don't know, you know, how many of you are like aware that this is happening, but there's this massive trend right now about like the Roman Empire, and how like men think about the Roman Empire like, you know, every day and stuff like that. And it's just so funny to me, because with the Mars and the South Node influence right now in the sign of Libra, okay, and the North Node in the sign of Aries, like wars and conflicts and battles and masculine energy, like badass masculine energy, you know, like the warriors from the past, okay, being like top of mind in a way that is like motivating and inspiring that like warrior archetype presently in the collective, and motivating and moving forward. So I find it, I laugh, like I think it's, you know, very humorous. Like to me, I laugh because it to me is like a manifestation of the energy. I'm not surprised at all that there's this big trend of the Roman Empire right now with men, because that's just another way, like emphasis on like wars and conflicts and battles and like all that type of stuff, even like revolutions and stuff, because of Pluto right now at the degree of the American Revolution, where it was when this kind of America was founded. Just an emphasis on past battles, past conflicts, masculine energy from the past, okay, that is coming up in a way that is like inspiring, like forward momentum somehow, or, you know, releasing us from something or bringing something to an end. And I just think it's really funny that it's like kicking up this warrior archetype in this like massively collective way, specifically in regards to like masculine energy generally. Out the past, like, and every, like, on the top of mind, the Libra, the air sign energy, the communication, like, all over Twitter or X, whatever you call it. So, I think that that's, like, an interesting feature of the way that the energy is manifesting and playing out right now. But, like, that is the thing, right? Like that is how this energy works. And of course, you know, passions, motivations, drives, things that we've done in the past actions coming back. Or like I said, it may not be about the past, but it may be about something that we've been doing for an extended period of time. We've been doing throughout the past, however many months, years, whatever, that we're realizing needs to come to an end right now. So bringing up things from the past in a very energized way, or bringing an end to things that have served their course and are like blocking us from moving on in a new direction, activating like that layer of destiny, or moving us towards this new mission, or inspiring us to like take back power in some type of way. So that's just the tendency, okay? But definitely with this moon trine, this is fueling things. This is also things happening fast. Moon in Gemini, this is a Gemini Mercury, this is a very fast moving energy, okay? So, you know, with Mars trine as well, this is like things like spreading like wildfire also. And it's very little impulse control. We are reacting emotionally, okay, when we have Mars and the moon in a trine. And in the air signs, it's conversational, it's debates, okay, it's arguments. It could also be like, you know, any type, just this more like ruthless, aggressive dialogue, but it's conversations, information, what we're learning, what we're talking about, what we're thinking about, that is motivating either the endings or the conflicts that result in sudden endings. People just like slamming the door, walking away, ending the situation. Could be very passionate emotions running the entire show today. And honestly, you know, like I was kind of alluding to earlier, there could just be some very ugly, like ruthless, relentless, demoralizing things coming out of people's mouths today. Projection is likely to be very strong as well. And people saying things, all right, that like ruins our image of them or destroys relationships, you know, like that's what this energy is indicating, because, you know, universe is working right now to bring to an end the things that we cannot take forward with us. So any way that needs to happen, and is happening verbally today, you know, people may be saying things that they don't even realize is, you know, anything, but your reaction to it may have the effect of like turning you off in such a way that you realize like, okay, I'm done with this situation, like I'm done with this relationship. That's the type of function that we're talking about today. And, you know, it's not just this moon trine Mars south node in Libra. The sun currently is also in the process of moving into an opposition with Chiron, which is going to be another like defining feature of this month that we have coming up. And this is going to start pressing on and sort of like bringing up themes of wounds and wounding and, you know, hurt feelings where we've been victimized in the past, okay? Especially as we move into the energy of next week, this is going to become more of a dominating theme. But remember, where we have the sun moving into the opposition with Chiron now, we are actually moving out of the Mars opposition Chiron energy, and that was probably bringing up some hurt feelings that may have really been making us feel sort of like raw and vulnerable, kind of like isolated and alone, bringing up maybe some enhanced fears of like personal weakness and inability to be effective or be successful in some type of way that we were dealing with over this past couple of weeks. So with the Mars south node energy, and also the sun now moving into the opposition with Chiron as well, this could also be sort of, you know, bringing up a tendency for people to be projecting some less than pleasant things kind of coming out of their mouth, okay? And also, like I mentioned earlier in this report, we have the black moon at 0 degrees of Virgo right now. The black moon has recently ended her 9-month transit of the sign of Leo, entered the sign of Virgo, currently at 0 degrees of Virgo. While we are not an active black moon energy right now, because that really only happens twice a month, when the moon moves through the position where the black moon is, or the sign opposing the black moon, and we're not there yet. We will be there around the 10th though, and that's going to be a really big day. But the black moon is still at that 0 degree of Virgo mark, just beginning the transit, and 0 is a critical degree of any sign, okay? Simultaneously, we also have Mercury at 30 degrees of the sign of Virgo today, the other critical degree in any sign. Mercury ruling the sign of Virgo, the position of the black moon, and also the position of the moon in Gemini today. And right now also the black moon is opposite Saturn in the sky, which is going to be a definite theme that we are talking about next week when we get into this black moon Virgo energy. But based on the lineup today, essentially, it just sort of feels like, with the Black Moon and Mercury straddling the whole sign of Virgo, and this Gemini moon influence, which is also ruled by Mercury, forming the trine to Mars in the South Node. It's sort of in the square to Pluto as well. It's like this shadow, okay, cast on the realms of communication and dialogue and messaging and information for the purpose of bringing something to an end somehow. And like I said, I do think that things could just generally get a bit ugly today. People could sort of be showing their underworld side of things, you know what I mean? Like maybe like not their best self. But we can also use this energy positively to like actively purge things out of our life that no longer fit us, that no longer define us, that are an old era of ourselves, that are not in alignment with who we are now and who we feel ourselves becoming. The conscious way, and I was saying this in my video yesterday as well, the conscious way that we can really use this energy to our own benefit if we want to like actively approach these times that we're in, instead of sort of unconsciously letting this energy just like play out in our lives and experiences. Active detachment, right? Like going through your friends list maybe, or consciously deciding that you're going to bring to the end some type of a relationship or some type of spending habit or pattern, or some value system maybe that you feel like isn't suiting you anymore. But also all of these more like superficial Libra things as well, like I was saying earlier, like fashion, makeup, beauty, art, music, okay, the images, the decor, like the way that we present ourselves. This is a very good time to sort of, clean things out, sort things out, organize, get rid of what is no longer a reflection of the person that we are becoming now. Our old eras, our old phases, our old styles and stuff like that. Purging, getting rid of, detaching when it comes to material things, material possessions, values, desires, and also other people, relationships, social circles, friends, groups, the identities as well that we associated with our that we wore in the context of group associations and stuff like that. So that is essentially what we're doing, what the best way to use this energy is. And we're in these very fated times right now, right? Universe is making a lot of changes for us, like I said in the beginning, that we haven't been able to make for ourselves. And Uranus is the galactic fixer too. Things are being put right. It may not be necessarily in the way that we would prefer or choose to have it be done, or to do it ourselves. That's why I say anywhere where we can like play an active role in this process that is playing out, it's probably going to benefit us and just make things a little bit more gentle and easy as we go through this period of time. But really, we kind of have to just surrender and go with the flow of things right now, because when all is said and done, and when this process of really like reorganizing like the social realms and dimensions of our lives and how we relate to ourselves and others is complete, we will find ourselves actually in a much more self-empowered state, where we have a much more true and clear and authentic relationship to ourselves and to our purpose. And the relationships that we do have in our lives will be a much better reflection of who we really are. We will have to wear way less masks. We will have to do way less like pretending, to keep other people happy and stuff like that in the context of our relationships. And we will be much more supported, and we will be much more supportive of like the people and the relationships and like all of that in our lives. You know what I mean? And also another thing, I don't want, everybody to think this is just like the total, like, if it's not working, then it's just over in terms of relationships, because that's not necessarily how it needs to go either. This is about ending patterns from the past, and it's also about personal healing, okay? This is about removing the relationships from our lives that are blocking our ability to align with a more authentic version of ourselves, and to tap our own potential, and to activate a layer of destiny that universe is calling us towards right now. Any one or relationship or group dynamic in our lives that is keeping us attached to a victim mindset, okay, or diminishing our sense of potential and our ability to see like endless possibilities for ourselves, and to go through this process of self-actualization and growing more towards our true potential and, you know, this personal mission, activating destiny and stuff like that. Like those are the relationships that, you know, universe may need to bring out of our lives right now. But the relationships and the people, you know, even some relationships that are dysfunctional in our lives, like if they are operating in a more authentic level or in a more authentic way, like it may just require personal healing on the part of the individuals in that relationship or in that social situation. And as we go through this, you know, personal leadership era and these personal heroes journey with the North Node in the sign of Aries over, you know, this next year and a half period of time, and people, you know, go through this personalized healing process and let go of a lot of things, this could actually like heal, resolve, bring an end to some long-standing relationship conflicts that maybe were in place in the first place because of unhealed wounds that were existing within each of the people. Okay, so this does not mean that you should just like necessarily like throw all of your relationships to the wind and go at it alone. I just mean that, you know, where the relationships are meant to be and are operating with a layer of support and authenticity for what needs to be done going forward, there can be a huge healing that goes on within all the people involved that make those relationships way more better, way more solid, way more supportive, and way more fulfilling. But the relationships that are not based on authenticity, that are based on an image, that are based on a facade, that are transactional, that are, you know, to look some type of way, okay, but there's no real substance to them. There's no real true connection. There's no real like true level or layer or dimension of like real love in the situation. Like, and they are, you know, keeping us attached to a version of ourselves that is, you know, perpetuating lower states of being that is not in alignment where the universe is calling us right now. Those are the ones that are likely to be on the chopping blocks. Those are the ones that it may be in our best interest to, you know, put the flame to as this Mars South Node energy comes through. So that's basically what I'm going to say about this astrology today. I feel like I went off on so many tangents, but I guess that's just the direction things needed to go today. There's a couple Sabian symbols I want to talk about: the position of Mercury, the position of Mars, the position of both nodes of the moon. First of all, we have Mercury today, who's ruling the position of the moon in Gemini. An urgent task to complete. A man doesn't look to any distractions. And then we've got the position of Mars as well. The sight of an autumn leaf brings to the pilgrim the sudden revelation of the mystery of life and death. That is also, of course, the position and the symbolic placement of the South Node right now. So when we combine these two energies, right, the position of the moon ruled by Mercury and Mars in the South Node, this is literally like not being able to look away from the changes that are happening now, from the transformations, from the transitions, from these like death and rebirth moments, you know, this ego death, but also this rebirth of self in alignment with higher self and like true purpose. Okay, so there is, you know, a very like perhaps urgent focus, okay, on whatever it is we need to do or we're feeling compelled to do, or the reactions are over or happening in regards to in this energy. All right, and then we've also got the position of the North Node, 25 degrees of Aries. That Sabian symbol is a double promise, reveals its inner or outer meanings. Again, this to me is like information, what we're discovering, what we're figuring out, the deeper layers of things that we're seeing, what we're figuring out maybe had been going on that we had been unaware of, acting as some type of catalyst that is moving us forward, you know, causing us to have the courage or the assertiveness or the anger, perhaps even maybe, you know, to act. Okay, and then also we have the position of both the Earth today at 12 degrees of Aries and also Pluto at 28 degrees of Capricorn, both talking about a bunch of birds. Okay, 12 Aries, where the Earth is today, is a flock of wild geese, and then 28 Capricorn, where Pluto is and square to Mars in the South Node, that Sabian symbol is a large aviary, which is also the natal Pluto of the United States. So this is also bringing in the air-based, you know, idea, informational component of things today, putting an extra emphasis on that, what's going on the ground, right, the position of the Earth, and also Pluto, major transformation, Phoenix energy, okay, bringing something down so that what comes next can be better, stronger, more resilient, more fulfilling, and richer. Also, Pluto also rules like true wealth, like in the depths where it's mined and where it's held like deep within and stuff like that as well. So with the flock of wild geese and the large aviary, this is also lots of noise, lots of communication going back and forth, lots of messaging going back and forth through the airwaves, right? So I'm telling you guys, who knows how it's going to go today, but what it's looking like is something that we're talking about, something that we're finding out about, something that we're hearing about, something that we're learning about, acting as some type of fuel, provoking some type of an emotional reaction that causes us to like put the guillotine down, or to like swing the sword, or like I said, to spark the match that burns it all down. And of course I absolutely don't mean that in any type of literal sense or context. And like I said, also, it's not for everything and everyone. Where things can be salvaged, where things can be healed, where people are able to, do what is necessary to like heal and overcome some of the stuff within them, to come to this greater place where the relationship can ultimately be like healed and resolved from a more balanced level. This is also very possible in this energy. So you know what it needs to be. And also, I would really recommend, and I don't just going forward generally, and I've sort of been talking about this as well. And as we move into the age of Aquarius and we move out of this Kali Yuga energy, coming to greater emanations with the galactic plane, with the galactic center, like I was talking about on my tangent earlier, the spidey senses are waking up, you guys. It's going to be a very collective experience. A lot of people aren't going to understand it. A lot of people aren't even going to necessarily notice it or perceive it. A lot of people are going to get freaked out by it and think there's like something wrong with them. But going forward, okay, we're talking about relationships. Relationships have been such a major theme of this video. There's such a major theme of what's going on right now generally in the energy field. Cultivating a better relationship to our own intuitive faculties, okay, to our own intuition, to our own spidey senses. This is going to benefit us, okay? Learning your own symbols, okay? Learning your own impulses, learning your own urges, and the way that universe communicates with you. I personally recommend spending some time orienting or reorienting yourself, or cultivating your personal relationship to these dimensions of yourself and of the way that you pick up and receive information. Okay, paying attention to patterns also very much as well, because this is going to be one of the best guides, okay, moving forward into this new energy. We're going to go through a period of time where you really can't trust or believe much of the information that is available, okay? And one of the best guides that is going to be available to us as we go through this period of time is going to be our own internal compass and our own intuitive urges and our own spidey senses coming online and being more active than ever as we move through this period of time and on into the future. So that's what I got to say today about the astrology, you guys. Let's get into the tarot. It's really interesting how the cards came out this morning. Actually, I got two of the exact same cards that came out in my reading for Monday, which is very bizarre. Getting one of the same cards, sure, but getting two of the same cards, that's very interesting, especially when I only had a 3-card reading that went on Monday. But anyways, this reading is talking about a lot of what I talked about in this report already. And it's talking about the end of deception, okay? Taking back power as a result of discovering like who's been stealing our light, who's been stealing our energy, who's been stealing our life force, okay? And how that has been keeping us perhaps in some states of constant anxiety or uncertainty or, fear, worries, insecurities, doubts, some type of sudden change that is actually functioning to put us back in a place of power coming through as a result of discovering, where something has been taken from us perhaps, or where people have been working against our interests, or, where our loyalties have been betrayed. Something like that. It's also, bringing an end to a lot of anxiety that we may have been experiencing as well. Very interesting reading that we had going on today. First of all, cards that we had coming out. The Tower in reverse, followed by the Emperor, followed by the Seven of Swords, followed by the Sun in reverse on the back of the deck, Nine of Swords in reverse, followed by, and I think that this is an interesting combination of cards as well. It's like the Nine of Swords in reverse, followed by the Eight of Wands, the Six of Swords, the Judgment card. This reading is all about some type of sudden communication causing us to make a sudden judgment, gain a sudden awakening that is moving us in a new direction, okay? Very suddenly, could totally be flipping our world upside down, but it is about discovering what has been going on that has been stealing our power, that has been stealing our light, that has been stealing our life force, like I said, that has been stealing our energy, that has been, this is also the Sun, right? This is loyalty, okay? Like I was saying earlier, this totally reminds me of a week where people are getting caught in the act. I don't know what that act is, but they're getting caught in it. It's causing a sudden disruption, turning everything upside down, you know, putting somebody in a place of power, all right? Bringing an end to something that we've really been worried or stressed out. It's been literally like keeping us up at night, and it's happening quickly. It's like the real thing. Like whatever we're finding out, this is a genuine greater understanding. Like this is the truth, okay, with the Judgment card coming out. And the Judgment card is also about a rebirth energy. Whatever it is, it's the Tower in reverse, right? It's flipping everything upside down, but it's also bringing us back to life somehow. It's like restarting things for us somehow, but it's moving us away from the troubled waters of the past. Like it's moving us forward in a new direction. So that's a very, very specific tarot card reading. I don't know which one of you out there that is specifically for, but maybe it's you. I don't know, but that's just how things seem to be coming together today. And again, like this doesn't have to be about romantic relationships. This could be about literally any type of relationships. This is a very financial component to it as well. Remember, also with the sign of Virgo being straddled by Mercury 30 Virgo and the Black Moon at 0 Virgo, this could also definitely have to do with like projects, assets, finances, material possessions, what we've been working on or working towards, like any type of like harvest type of energy, what we're producing. I don't know, some could be some things that we're finding out that are having a major impact and really causing some endings to some things and some major changes and moving us forward in a new direction. Let's grab a synchronicity card now, you guys. God, Spirit, Universe. What do we need to know? What would be one good final piece of advice to keep in mind as we are moving through this energy right now? There it is. It says, change your thoughts, which is what's happening. In all of this, like a lot of things are changing, but we have the South Node, right? And the Mars conjunction and the square to Pluto with the Mercury, Gemini influence today going on as well. It's all thought, idea being driven, I'm telling you guys. And it shall prosper in the thing for which I sent it, Isaiah 55:11. Whatever seed you plant will come back to you in its fruit. If you plant a bitter seed, you will get a bitter fruit. Sweetness will beget sweetness. Likewise, flavor your thoughts and your speech with sweetness, that you may dwell in a sweet life. Holding to your present thoughts will bring you unhappiness. And that's what I was saying, you guys. I feel like people are likely to be the more uglier version of themselves today. So universe is a God, Great Spirit, however you connect to a higher power, advising us today to keep a handle on our thoughts, right? To not allow our emotional reactions to things to get us whipped up and swirled up in a way that may produce some results, right? In this harvest energy, that's what I was talking about, like not exactly getting the harvest that we may have wanted, okay? The way that we kind of stay on the right track today is not allowing ourselves to get caught up and whipped up in some type of mental energy that is causing us to do something that is opposed, okay, to the outcome that we would like, okay? We need to keep in mind in this energy what is and is not actually working for or against our interests. We need to keep the big picture in mind. You know, we may feel very emotionally triggered to do something, but before we react, okay, before we take some type of passionate action, especially if it's, you know, rooted from anger or something like that, we need to be sure that like doing that thing is going to get us an outcome that we actually want, and is not just going to be like actually self-sabotaging somehow as a result of like our inability to, you know, use wise judgment or control ourselves. Wise action is really important right now as well, especially with the Chiron influence, having just had the Mars Chiron opposition. I could go on and on. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now, you guys. This has been a really long video. I don't even know how that happened. But if you guys made it with me this far, and I hope you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think that they would enjoy this type of astrology content as well. Leave me comments, you guys. I am so grateful for all of you guys. I appreciate you so much. I really like knowing how these energies are impacting you guys out there. If you're having experiences that match up with what I'm talking about in these videos, please let me know in my comment section below. Also, if you want to know what's on this here whiteboard, I posted in a Facebook group I have that is linked in my description box. I also have a Facebook page and an Instagram that are linked down there as well. And come back with me on Friday, you guys. We are going to have our weekend update. I can't remember right now exactly what's going to be coming, and I'm not going to look because it will take more time, and this video is already long enough, but it'll be good. So you should be here. I will be here. You should definitely be here too. And I will see you then, guys. Have a very nice mid part of your week, and until next time, bye.